Converting measurements in the metric system. There's 3 basic units of measure in the metric system. Meters, which measure length, how long something is. Grams, which measure mass, and mass is sort of like weight, not exactly. Mass is more like how much is packed into it, but it has a weight. Weight has to do with gravity. And liters, which have to do with capacity, how much something will hold. Many of us are very familiar with a 2-liter bottle of soda. That's a good example of a metric measurement. Now, let's talk about meters. Here is a meter stick. On this side, that's the meter side. This is 1 meter. I don't know if you can see all of that. That's 1 meter. It's a little bit shorter than 1 yard because this side has yards. It's about that much longer, not shorter. The meter is this much longer than a yardstick. Yards are English measures. Meters are metric measures. Okay? Now, grams that have to do with mass or weight, I'm going to show you 3 objects. A big paper clip, the stapler, and a rock. This rock is pretty heavy. In fact, this rock is the heaviest of all 3 of these. So which one do you think has the most mass? Which one would be more grams? This one is heavier. This one is super light. This one's in the middle. Grams has to do with mass, which is kind of like weight. Liters has to do with capacity. We already talked about the 2-liter bottle of soda. Here is a beaker that most people see in a science classroom. And this beaker is measured in milliliters. So it's got liters in it, but it has a prefix in front of it. We're going to find out in a moment how many liters this is, because it's 1,000 milliliters. It says so, but we need to know how many liters is it. So we're going to learn to convert. In the metric system, they have some prefixes, which are words that come before the word meter, gram, or liter, that help us understand big measurements and small measurements. Okay? And the metric system is all based on tens. So that's going to help us. Now, K in the metric system stands for kilo. Have you heard of a kilometer or a kiloliter or a kilogram? Kilo means 1,000. H stands for hecto. Hecto means 100. Hectometer, hectoliter, hectogram. This D stands for deca. Okay? Decameter, decaliter, decagram. Now, since there's 2 D's, and they're really similar, I like to take this A off the bottom of that and put it here so that I can remember that that's deca, because the other one is going to be deci. Okay, it's 10 times something. Now, U stands for units. What in the world is a unit? Wait, let me change that. U stands for units. Okay? Units are the things we talked about in the beginning. Basic units of measure. Sometimes this is meters, because isn't that a unit? Sometimes this is grams. And sometimes this is liters. Those are the 3 basic units. how would you know which one it was? Because if the problem said kilograms, then you would know it's grams. If the problem said hectometers, then you would know meters. If it said milliliters, like remember our beaker that we're going to get to in a minute? Remember the beaker? Milliliters, that's the abbreviation. Then it has to do with liters. So units stands for all three of them, whichever one you're using at the time. Okay. This D stands for deci. Okay? And it's like 1/10. This stands for centi. And it's 1/100th. And this stands for milli, which means 1/1000th. Okay? Now, let me show you a really cool, magical, wonderful shortcut so that you can do this easily. Now, some math teacher somewhere at some time, not me, made up a really silly sentence to go with this to help us remember it. This is kind of a funny sentence. Many of you have heard it before. Okay, sometimes a silly sentence helps us to remember. So, they decided that this could stand for King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. Got that? Let me say it again. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. The point of the sentence is so when I get ready to write these down, I can remember what order they come in. Now, back to our lovely, lovely beaker. It's 1,000 milliliters. I wanted to know how many liters is that. So here's how I'm going to find out. I'm going to write down 1,000 milliliters equals blank liters. I want to find out how many liters it equals. And here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to look at milliliters. This is kind of like playing a board game. And I'm going to say this is where I need to start. So where is milliliters on this? Well, this stands for milli, right? And we know units is going to be liters because we're doing milliliters. So I'm going to start right here on milli. I'm going to put a dot. Okay? And then I'm going to move backwards to the left to see how many spaces I need to go to get to the U. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm at units, which in this case is liters. Remember, units can stand for liters, meters, or grams, but we know it's liters because we have milliliters. Okay. And remember, we're trying to find out how many liters is in this 1,000 milliliter beaker. So, since I moved this 3 to the left, I'm going to write down 3 to the left so I don't forget. Then I'm going to take my number, my 1,000, and I'm going to say, where does the decimal live in a number that they didn't write the decimal? Well, it always lives here at the end, doesn't it? They just don't write it unless there's something on this side. But it can be put there, can't it? That means the same as that, doesn't it? Yes. So I'm going to take my decimal point and I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3 to the left. And now my decimal point lives there. So when I write it down, this decimal point moved over here, so that one's gone. So I'm going to write, oh, that's 1.000 liters. Do I need the zeros? Isn't that just another way to write 1? Right, so that's 1 liter. Whatever I do up here on King Henry, I get to do the same thing to my number. So now, I just found out. This is 1,000 milliliters and it's 1 liter. So now you can see what 1 liter looks like right here at this line. Makes sense. If you stacked another beaker on top of this, wouldn't that be about the same as a 2-liter bottle of soda? Of course it would. Now, let's try another problem. Okay, what if you wanted to find out how much 6 hectometers is? 6 hectometers. Where are we going to start? We're going to start at hecta. Meters is our unit. Okay? 6 hectometers. So we're going to start right there. We know this is meters. Okay? And we want to go to centimeters because we want to find out how many centimeters 6 hectometers is. So we're going to move and count. 1, 2, 3, 4 till we get to centi. Because these are the ones we're looking for, right? Hecta and centi. Okay, so how many spaces did we move? 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Okay, 4 spaces to the right this time. This time we went to the right. So guess what's going to happen when we put our decimal in our number? We're going to put 6 point or 6.0 if it makes you feel better. Either way, isn't that the same thing? We're going to move this decimal 4 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put our new decimal and fill in the zeros. Wow. So that is 60,000. 6 hectometers is 60,000 centimeters. See how easy that is? This, King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk, is just a shortcut way to do it. What you're really doing is multiplying. This time you're multiplying by 4,000. Not 4,000. Whew, I am tired. This time you're multiplying by 10,000. But if you can just learn the King Henry way, it's much simpler than trying to figure out the other way. Now, the good news is we're going to continue learning this in class tomorrow. And there's no video homework tonight because the video is kind of long. But what I want to know is this. There's a prize involved tomorrow. The first person on Friday who comes to me and tells me the 3 items I used in the video to show you the measurement of grams will get a prize. Bye-bye.